Hello, welcome back to Metalhead Nation Garage. I'm Chris, your host, and on this episode today, we're going to talk a little bit about Aerosmith, STP, and GNR. We'll start out with Aerosmith today, and hey, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Aerosmith was forced to cancel one of their shows there in Vegas, and from Steven Tyler being ill. You know, Aerosmith, a great classic rock band that has all their original members, but over the years, you know, health has got in the way, and some of their personal stuff that they're, you know, still battling, you know, drugs, alcohol. And with Steven Tyler, he has been ill here the last couple years, or needed to get back in rehab and things of that sort. But wow, what a truly great band this is. I mean, you go back to their early history. That's what draws me to it. Them early albums for sure. You know, we talk about. You know, their Aerosmith, you know, Dream On songs. I mean, Lord have mercy, some of the best stuff there. You know, just going through their albums. Let's do it. Get Your Wings, Toys in the Attic, Rocks, Draw the Line, Night in the Ruts. I mean, that early 70s stuff. I mean, that's what it was. That's what kicked them off, man. I mean, them albums, them classic rock albums they was one of the best in the 70s. Stood out, and they still stand the test of time today. But you know, early on in them 70s, they was addicted to, well, especially Perry and Tyler, to heroin, and really, I mean, they was great collaborators, but they never really got along. You know, their musical chemistry was there, but Joe, he really didn't want to be friends with Steven. So as the story goes, so that I mean, truly, the drugs, heroin got in their way, and you know, coming right after that, Night in the Ruts, they really they split. Perry left the band with Whitford, and they went and did their things for you know, a couple years, and you know, and Steven tried to keep the band going. You know, just didn't happen with that next album. And you know, that's one of them we talk about. You get a second helping here. You know, they came out, what got their kick, it was in the 80s with Run DMC, that Walk This Way belted them right back up to the charts, and on they went. You know, with Permanent Vacation, Pump, Get a Grip, Nine Lives. I mean, you know, they had some of the greatest songs there in the '80s. You know, on soundtracks with movies. So, but it is another band that I haven't seen. Would love to see them. I thought about going out to Vegas there a couple years ago, but never did make it. I don't know if they'll be touring around, you know, here in the States or anywheres. I think, you know, Kramer is, he's still in the band, but he's not playing. There's something going on there. Although I know he had his wife died, and, you know, and Steven, he was battling rehab, and whatever he's battling now could just be an issue of, you know, voice or an injury or some sort. But they, again, Kramer's not in the band. I want to see the original Aerosmith, and I don't know if we'll get to see that. They have stated that, you know, there is an end time too, as Kiss stated, but that date hasn't been decided. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds here, and good luck with Steven with his illness, and hope he gets back here soon. So we'll move on with other top news. It's a 7-year anniversary of Scott Weiland's death. You know, Stone Temple Pilots came up in the 90s. Lord have mercy, rose through the charts. Great songs coming out, great albums. You know, Core, Purple. I mean, these I mean, old STP. There's nothing better in that grunge era in the '90s. Um, you know, I like his work with Slash. You know, Velvet Revolver. That's a couple good albums. That first one was great, but if you ever watch a documentary on that, you'll see his heroin use too just dragged him down. You know, and a lot of them, you know, he states when he did heroin, it just took him to that a high place and a dark place, but that's where his you know, he got his thoughts from for songwriting and things of that sort. But you know, at the end, it ended his life too. So, but just think about that. We think, you know, this is what I think. You go back and you have these stadium tours. Who in the '90s, besides Pearl Jam, is going to go out and play in big stadiums, let alone arenas? I mean, basically, you got Pearl Jam left, and you know, you got Pantera reunited. But who's going to lead that way for the '90s, like from the '60s, '70s, and '80s? You know, these guys back in, them musicians, they're doing stadium tours now, and I don't know. And you know, you hear this from Gene Simmons, who in today's world is going to lead, you know, the rock, going to be that rock star, as we have Aerosmith, Kiss, you know, some of these guys who's out there touring, Metallica, you know, who's going to lead that way from the '90s on? I don't see anybody out there from the '90s on. It's only Pearl Jam left. Everybody else has died of drug overdose. So interesting stuff there. That I think about, and I don't, you know, after these Metallica and all these Sammy, Hagar, Aerosmith, Kiss, they retire, we're just going to have their music left. I don't see anybody who could hold the candle for these guys, you know. I don't know. Give me your thoughts. Give us your comments down there, and tell me what your thoughts are and what you think of it. We'll move on to more news. Sebastian Bach, he's making the rounds here for the ex-Skid Row singer. You know, Skid Row's obviously released that album and is doing really well. The gang's all here, but Sebastian said he has an album he's been working on for 2 years. He wants to get it out. But, you know, there's just things about it, you know, the way the record industry is now. And he said, you know, today's world in music, he says you can have a wrestling star come out, you know, make a record, tour, be successful, he said, because, you know, they don't have the feel, as he said, and not an artist really. He said they have Pro Tools. They could go in, make an album, you know, do the vocals, clean them up, put it out, and tour. He said, you know, back in the day, you had to be good. You had to be talented. You had to be good vocally, musician-wise, guitar, you know, drums. He said you don't have to do that these days. So he said they're just, you know, putting a think tank on and trying to, you know, gather everybody around him and see what's the best way to release music. He said every Tom, Dick, and Harry has a studio and has a record label, so it's how you get it out there, you know, and that's going to be their next move. We'll see how it is. I don't know. Sebastian, I don't know if he's been relevant since he left Skid Row, and I don't know if he will. And golly, I tell you, that he looks like a train wreck also. So we'll see what he can do. I don't know. Going back, we'll move to news. Sammy Hagar doing rounds yet, talking about the MTV effect on how that affected him in the 80s and things. As he stated, you know, he was doing his thing, just doing arenas, doing albums, and MTV hit in 1982. So he had a hit video out there with Your Love Is Driving Me Crazy. He said it changed the world for him. You know, he had to get out and do some other things, and that being he he had to go out and tour. I'm sorry, I got thrown off here on my TV, but he went out on tour. He said everybody started recognizing him from that MTV video. So it's kind of different there, where he was in the studio, released the album, you got it out, you did the radio talk shows and things, and man, this changed. He couldn't even go out. He'd go out, you know, into the airports and stuff, and everybody recognized him. Didn't really know his name, but they knew him. So the perspective of MTV really helped, but at the end of it, a lot of people thought it hurt. So I don't know. Just some thoughts there. See what you thought of MTV back in the day. It really did help the artist, but did it kill him at the end of the time? I don't know. A lot of people think so. And the last part of news we got today was for Guns N' Roses. Old Axl's in the news again. You know, at the end of the show, he always throws his mic in the crowd. Well, he did that in Australia, and it hit a lady, man, and it messed her up, broke her nose, gave her 2 black eyes. I mean, put her in some discomfort for sure. But, you know, Axl in the past, he probably, you know, would have said something that was a terrible statement, but he said he did a statement and said he won't do that anymore. It came to his attention, people were getting hurt, and he's going to stop. That's not his intention. So so no more throwing that mic in the crowd for Axl Rose. So hey, again, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time here on Metalhead Nation Garage.